Hey everyone, this is Ashley with Publish with Ashley, and I'm here to talk to you today about the basics about cover creation for Kindle Direct publishing low content books, or actually any book that you're going to publish on KDP. So this is paperback, hardbacks, ebooks have kind of their own thing, but this is paperbacks and hardbacks. So if you were interested in learning more about Kindle Direct Publishing or how to create low content books or niches or all that sort of thing, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel or join my free Facebook group. So I really thought this was a great topic because I have a lot of people who are joining my group and joining my YouTube channel who are newbies. And what I think one of the best things or the greatest things you can do to further your KDP education is understanding the background behind cover creation. I know there's a lot of tools out there that just let you select the size, but I found that I get errors. Well, I used to get a lot of errors using tools and stuff and just kind of doing the shortcut because I didn't understand why I was getting errors. And so once I took the time to understand, exactly what they meant by bleed and what they meant by edges and trim and all that sort of thing, it was so much easier, and I kind of understood what the error was. I knew how to fix the error and that sort of thing. I could check my cover size to see if it was correct. If it's even a pixel off, it doesn't work. So you really need to kind of understand how covers work. So there's this really great tool that KDP has just updated, and it's a lot more user-friendly than it was previously. It is their cover calculator that they have online, and I will leave the link. You can see it in my search bar there. I'll leave the link in this, in the show notes, in the description below. Okay, but it's way better than it was. It used to be really confusing and kind of painful, but this is a lot better. So what you're going to do is we're just going to start with select a paperback, right? So it's a lot of drop down pick stuff. My interior type, generally we're going to be using black and white. Paper type, most low content books, people tend to do white paper. And let's see, page turn left to right, that's typical. We're going to go, let's see, select one, measurement units. We're going to do inches. And then the next one is your size. So we're going to do a 6x9 100 count page count book. Now, I want to put something about pages. So the number of pieces of paper is going to be 50 pieces of paper. But how this calculator works is based upon page count. So if you had a piece of paper, page 1, and then you flip it over, and that would be page 2. So 2. So 100 pages is actually 50 sheets of paper, but this calculator, you would put 100 in. Hopefully that makes sense. Now you can download a template, you can reset this, or you can calculate dimensions. So if you wanted to use a template, I don't like using templates. I like to create my stuff myself, just because I know it is correct if I create it myself. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to hit calculate dimensions because I want to talk through it and explain. Okay, so here this comes out, and see, this is really kind of nice. Now, there's all these numbers, right? Too many numbers, but it really is way better than it used to be. This used to be really painful to look at. Let me move myself over. But now, it's a lot easier to understand. So this 1 is your height, and I don't know where the... I guess it's the height. Oh yeah, so 1 is referring to this. So width and height. So this is your height and this is your width, right? And because when you're doing a cover, you're doing the front and the back cover. This is going to be your front of the book. This will be the back, because once it folds over, that's how you print it, right? So here's where your barcode's going to be. But most of you really just need to know what to put into Canva or PowerPoint. So this number 1 is what you're going to be putting in. The width is going to be 12.475. Your height is 9.25. For a 6x9 book, it is going to be these numbers right here. Now, it does not matter if your book has bleed or not for the cover. When they ask you about bleed, that is interior. And I highly suggest that when you're first starting out, use no bleed, which would mean your interior page sizes are going to be, for a 6x9 book, are going to be 6x9, and that makes it very simple for you. Now, once you understand what you're doing and you have this you're creating these books, then you can kind of move into bleed. But initially, stay away from bleed. Do a 6x9 book and make sure everything is within the margins. I usually use my interior margins at 0.5 all the way around, so 0.5 inches, and I know I'm safe at that. If you do that, you're going to be safe on your interior, so nothing should be outside the 0.5 border. Okay, so that's for interior. Now let's talk a little bit more about this book cover so that you can kind of understand. Okay, so this is your height, this is your width, right? You have your front and your back over here. This is where your barcode is going to go. This right here is your spine. It is number 7. So this is something you're definitely going to want, the spine safe area, actually, I guess. So yes, that's the whole thing is kind of your spine. Number 6 is your spine. This right here, see this kind of gray? This is what's the wraparound. This is the spine margin. So it actually does need space to wrap around. So your spine is going to be 0.225, okay? And it says 9 in height, but really it's the whole thing. You're not just going to cut off and put this in. But this is the spine safe margin. This is if you had any writing or anything like that, that is where it's going to be in there. So really that's this, it's very small, right? Because for 100 pages, that's a pretty small spine. It's not even, it's not even a quarter of an inch. It's really pretty small. So with a small book, you're really not going to have any room for any writing. So this is just going to be a solid color is usually what I do. I do whatever color seems to match my cover. And I would make my spine actually 0.225. So this distance right here. Now let's talk about these other all these things, right? So see this area right here? Like all this gray area, this is area that's going to be cut out. So right here, this number here, 3, is going to be the safe area. So you want everything within this white area. So everything important to you. So any words, anything that makes it. Definitely words. Words are the biggest thing because usually you have like a color or something bleeding off the edge. So that you have to have all the words within that safe area. That for the front cover is going to be 6x9. Not all that surprising, right? So this is going to be that. Now see how it has this cutoff area? When they trim the books, there's an area that can get cut off. That's just to allow for when they cut them, they print them, they cut them. So some of this might get cut off. And that's why you want to make sure everything is within this safe area. Okay, now there's all these bleeds and margins and all these other numbers, but those just tend to be confusing. That's all this stuff. Just think everything has to be within this area and all this is going to be cut off. Now, the thing I tend to use is this margin area, and that is going to be, it's kind of the addition of 4 and 5. So it's going to be this, which is 0.25. So I'm making this 6x9, and then I'm going to have 0.25 around the entire side that is my margins. And those are going to be something I can't go outside of. So hopefully this kind of helps you understand what all these things are. So right here, yeah, you're going to lose some of this. You're not sure how much of this area is going to be lost. So really you've got to pad your design with 0.25 around the entire edges. That's just kind of how I do this, and how you've got to understand all the piece parts so that this makes sense for you. And hopefully this does. But the big numbers you're going to want to pay attention to is this number 1, because that's what you're going to put your cover in, which is 0.212, 0.475, and 9.25, right? So that's your width and your height that you're going to stick into Canva or PowerPoint or whatever you're using. That is the size you need. And then you're going to want to know where your spine is so that you can make sure that you're going to create something that's going to have, you know, a front side and a back side. So you need to have that spine. I usually center my spine, so I would make my box 0.225 and then I would center that. And so you're gonna have half this side, half that side, and then I know over here is where my front cover is going to be, over here is where my back cover is going to be, and these edges right here, my margin is going to be these together, right? It's going to be 4 and 5 because I need to keep my size, everything that's important, especially words, within this 6 by 9 area, and that leaves a 0.25 space right here. Okay, so that's kind of what I set my grid lines and things to. And hopefully this was helpful to kind of explain how a book cover is set up in the different piece parts. Right here is where your barcode is. I just kind of, it gives you the exact place where it is, but honestly I just kind of know it's over in the corner here and takes up about this much space. So I definitely don't put any words or anything down here. I just generally center, if I'm going to do anything on the cover, I tend to center it kind of up here, and that way I never really have to worry about where my barcode is going to be. The big thing is, you know, if you have an overall pattern, it's not going to matter that your barcode's over here, but if you have like a graphic or something, you're just going to want to center it up here, and so that this barcode isn't going to interfere with it. Or if you have words or anything, just center up towards the top. All right, I hope this was really helpful for you and that you come back and learn a little bit more about Kindle Direct Publishing with me and low content books, and I will see you in my next YouTube video. Thanks so much.